2000 through 2006 Acura MDX rear door lock actuator replacement. I'm Brian Nessa from How to Automotive. I'm going to walk you through the steps of replacing the door lock actuator. To get started, we're going to make sure the window is rolled up, and we're going to remove the rear door panel. To do that, I recommend using a plastic bone tool like this, and you're going to stick it right here in the back of the wood portion of the armrest here, and we're going to pop this cover up. So you want to put it right in here and kind of give it a little twist and pop it up. And once you get it going, you can use your fingers to pop it out. When you're doing this, you want to do it from the rear first. So once you get it popped up in the back here, you just kind of pull it towards you a little bit, and then you can lift it out. Now you can go ahead and unplug the electrical connector here, squeeze the tab and pull the connector off. Now we need to remove a screw that's right behind the door handle here. So we're going to pop this little plastic cover off, and I'm going to use a pick tool like this and hook it in there and pick that little cover off, and behind it will be a Phillips screw. So go ahead and pick that cover open, remove the Phillips screw. Now you're going to slide the handle assembly towards the inside of the vehicle like this, and then pull outwards like this. Next, we need to pop the rod that's connected to the handle off. So you're going to pop this little lever here, you're going to swing it out like that, and once you get it swung out, then you can wiggle it and pop the rod off like this. Now inside the pull handle is going to be one more little screw that we need to get to, and there's going to be a little cover on it also. So we're going to pick that off with a little pick, and then once we get that open, then there's going to be a Phillips screw underneath here. Remove that screw. Now with a panel popping tool at the very bottom of the door, you're going to stick it behind the panel and pry the panel outwards towards you. Now that you got the panel popped outwards like this, you're going to reach around the back and unplug the light. So you'll just give it a quarter turn counterclockwise and the light will come unplugged. Now we're going to go up top here, and we're going to grab the door panel on the left and right side of the door panel and lift upwards and then pull towards you, and the door panel will come off. Now you can set the door panel aside, and then we're going to peel this weather barrier back. So we're going to start on the right side here and just work in smaller increments and peel the weather barrier back. Try not to rip it or tear it. We're going to reuse it. Peel about 50% of it back and then tuck it out of your way. Now if you look inside the door, just to the right is the door lock actuator with the two electrical connectors. You can go ahead and unplug those two by squeezing the tab here. So once you get those two unplugged, the next step is to focus on this black plastic piece here. This piece is a guard to prevent slim jimming the lock mechanism, so we need to remove that. So you want to pay close attention on how this is mounted in there. So there's one Phillips screw right here that we need to remove. Get to that screw, I went around the window track here like this, and then got straight on to the screw. Once you get that screw removed, then you can go ahead and pull the plastic piece off. You want to pay close attention on how it's mounted, so when it goes back in, it goes in nice and easy. So go ahead and pull that off now and set this aside. Now the door lock actuator has two more screws, one right here and one right here. They're both Phillips. Go ahead and remove those two screws. So when you go to pull this off, after unscrewing it, there's a little lever in the back, and there's a rod that is connected to, so you want to pay attention to that. So you pull it off like this. So you may have to flip the little lever here upwards like this to seat the little rod or the post the door lock actuator mounts on. It mounts on that little ear right there. So when you go to install it back in, you need to make sure that the little inner lever right there is hooked onto that little post. So I will be sure to link up the door lock actuator in the video. So now we're going to go ahead and install this. We're going to hook that little rod onto the post. And then also one thing I wanted to share with you is this little lip right here. It has to slide underneath this little metal bracket that's inside the door here. So it has to slide underneath that as you do it. So you're going to put this on by connecting that little actuator lever there onto the post there, and then kind of rotate it counterclockwise. Once you got it hooked on there like this, then you're going to rotate it counterclockwise up into position, making sure that that little hook on the back hooks onto the metal bracket behind there. And once you get it in position, then you can start the two screws. And if you don't hook that little ear on the back, it won't be level, and the screws won't be able to start. Now we can position the security guard back into place and reinstall the one screw that's holding it on. Once you get it back into position, it's going to look like this, and you can go ahead and start that screw like I said and make sure it's secure. After that, you can plug in the two electrical connectors. The two connectors are different, so you can't mix them up, so just plug them back in. Now we're ready to put the weather barrier back on. The little door lock lever here might have fallen, so you can position that and go ahead and put the weather barrier back up, tack it back up. Now we're ready to put the door panel back on. So this lip here is going to hook over the edge of the door frame here. So we're going to lift it up, and we're also going to line up the door lock through the door panel here. So you'll line those up and hook it on over the top. Once you got it all lined up and hooked on there, you just push it down into its seats. So once you got it hooked on, I recommend you try out the lock here and make sure it's not jammed up or binding or anything. And once it's all secure down there, now what we're going to do is pull the door panel back here and then install the light back into the little holder here. Put it in quarter turn clockwise. Now we're going to make sure that the wiring harness here is pulled through on the handle here. And then once we get that done, we're going to look through the side here and line up the little pins that hold through the holes and make sure they're all lined up, the clips here. And once they're lined up, you just tap the door panel inwards until it's all locked in, and then we can start the Phillips screw on the pull handle here. After that's installed, we can plug the electrical connector in, and then there's a little hook that hooks on the front of the of this wood panel here. So it hooks in the front first, and then you push the back down until it's fully secure. So you'll hook it in like this and then push the back down. After that, we need to hook up the door panel. So you need to pull the rod out a little bit, and then we're going to hook it through the little hole on the handle here. So you'll hook it in, and then once you get it hooked in there, and once you get the rod hooked through the handle, you need to flip this little lever over to lock it onto the rod. So you'll hook the rod through like this, and then flip the little lever over and lock it on. Now the handle has these little ears that we need to hook into the door. So you got to pull it towards the inside of the vehicle, and then push in and then pull towards the back side of the vehicle, or towards the outside, to lock it into place. Once it's locked in there, then you can start the Phillips screw and the little cover one here. Now you can just double check all your operations, and that'll complete the job of replacing the door lock actuator on a Acura MDX. I'm Brian Essa from How To Automotive. I'd like to thank you guys for watching my videos, encourage you to subscribe, invite you to head over to the howtoautomotive.com website for more valuable videos like this. And I also would like to remind you that I will link up all the parts and tools in the description of the video. Thank you again for watching.